Clog vlog.
Hey there, week 4.
Week 4, last clog vlog.
Last one. Wow.
Yes.
This goes
It's Labor Day weekend as we're recording. So, yeah.
it's gone by very fast.
I know. I know. But I'm glad we're looking toward fall. I'm glad.
Yes, for the temperatures to chill out a little bit. It's been crazy, like, with heat indexes of, like, 109 one day last week,
Oh my
105. It's
oh
melting
my word. That's
Fahrenheit.
awful. That's awful.
Yeah.
I was
Corn sweat, it's a thing.
oh,
Have you seen or heard about that? I
corn sweat.
Corn sweat, I had not really heard about it. So, where I live, West Central Illinois, I mean, there's corn everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it gets hot, it sweats, it emits like condensation and heat. And corn sweat is a thing. It actually increases like the humidity and the real feel temp because there's so much around us. Yeah,
Okay, I
it's
guess that
strange.
makes sense when you think about, like people talk about lake effect snow, lake effect. So you have corn sweat.
We have corn sweat.
That sounds horrible.
It doesn't sound particularly attractive. Just like lake effect comes with snow, corn sweat just comes with humidity.
That's kind of disgusting.
Mm. I learned that this year. I didn't know it. It makes a lot of sense.
And you lived there like a long time, but that just goes to show you there's always something new to learn.
Yes, I love learning new things.
I know.
Except in my knitting, I kind of like to stay where I am.
No, 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 no. We like to challenge you.
Oh, heavens.
Yeah. So your clogs are doing well.
My clogs are doing well. Clogs are like a great first step. I'm not a huge, I want to learn all the techniques kind of person. And I think clogs were one of the first things I did after a hat. And they're very doable. They're
Yeah.
very, very doable.
Yes, they are. And it is a good thing to learn decreases, short rows, just joining things. Yeah. I mean, they're totally doable. It's a pretty well written pattern.
I love the pattern. And it's intuitive. Once you get going, there's my clogs.
Look at that.
Love them so much.
Yes. And yours look pretty dry. Mine are not dry. I had a busy week.
Well,
I had a busy week. Mine are not dry. They're felted, but they are not dry.
mine are a hair off. They're one, which I've never had that before. One is a hair larger than the other. So I am going to put them back in
Yeah.
to even them up a little bit now. Okay. It doesn't look like they're off, but
But they
boy,
look great. Do they fit?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, they do. No, see, they look fine.
Well, and I
This,
will say, sometimes people notice after you wear them a while, they'll stretch out. And so, what I like to do, say you wear them for 2 or 3 months and they seem kind of sloppy and stretched out, throw them in with a load of jeans. It's fine. Just washing them one time is not going to make them shrink a whole lot. And you can, stretch them back out a little.
I
Yeah.
did that with my dad's. I made a pair for my dad, and
Yeah.
he's not worn through them, but they needed some love. So I threw them in on cold, took them out. You get to reshape them. So I think that's all I'm going to do. I don't think I will do it on hot, but this one isn't shaped exactly the way I would like it to be.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I will say, I'll show you mine.
oh my gosh, they turned
Yeah.
out so good.
Well, I kind of
Oh,
want to felt them a little more. They're not as mushed together as I would prefer, but see how, they come out and they're a little like you need to shape it. It's like it's a little wonky.
yes, I have a
A
little
wonky. Yeah,
a
and that's
wonky one
totally
there. So,
okay. Here's the
yeah.
Franken one. This is the one I had to play
Oh,
yarn
it
chicken with.
looks so good.
And they're
How
not
did it turn out with the one strand and all that?
can't tell.
That's awesome.
So this one, I mean, they seem a little big still. So I'm gonna run them through a couple more times on hot. They seem a little large still. So that's okay. And the pink seems to have felted better than the multicolor, although it's the same yarn content, but this is felted together better. See on the sole, it
Mhm.
much less stitch definition still here. than there
Mhm.
is here. So I'm not sure what's up with that because it is the same yarn, you know?
Are they same brands?
Yeah. They were
Oh,
both
wow.
both lamb's pride worsted.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know. But you
That
can see this was the bumper where I just did the one and it's mushed. It's felted right in on this side. It's
that
mushed.
really
Oh,
has.
yeah.
I'm going to make notes this time on my Ravelry page that it took me 3 washes because
Like
I have a different
full-on
washer.
washes?
Yep.
Oh, you didn't just do this hot swish and then pause and then hot
I
swish?
had so much time. I mean, I had so much going on at the time. That's what I've always done. I usually do 2 loads and then I do it for 2 minutes and check it and do it for 2 minutes and I figured, if I felt them down to they're too small for me, I have a friend that has worn through hers and I'm just going to give them to her cuz she's got much tinier feet than me.
That's
And
fine.
it was kind of freeing. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they fit and so I think I'm going to make that note on my Ravelry page that with this washer it's just and I did it with jeans.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just gonna do it 3 loads next time with jeans.
Nice.
So I'm
I
happy.
might do
I'm
that. I
really
might
happy
put
with
him
how
back
they
in
turned.
with some jeans. I felted with a load of like a half a load of towels, just bath towels, but I might do it with jeans and just do mine down a little bit more. And that's fine because what I'm noticing too is the sole is felting a little bit better than the top of the foot. And I don't know what's up with that because it is the same yarn. It's the
Yeah.
same company. I don't,
Huh.
but I'm going to see what can be done, but I like them.
I like how everything meshed together. It
It,
looks nice.
it did. It just mushed. And you can
It does
tell
and
the
it does not look
separation.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, they're fantastic.
I like it.
And they're gonna be so warm this
It
winter.
was there was one morning this last week when I went out to do chores. I get up early because when I have class, I have to leave, and I mean, I get up early anyway because my husband gets up at 4:30. So we're usually drinking coffee by 5:15.
Oh my word.
Yeah. Anyway, by the time it starts to get light, the chickens want to go out because they're like, "It's light, let us out." But I lock them up at night because we have coyotes and fox and all kinds of things. But it was 51 degrees at 5:15 one morning, and I was like, "Yay!" I was so happy.
That is awesome. That
Yeah,
is awesome.
I was happy about it.
Hmm.
I'll be
I
doing a
would
little happy dance when it's in the 40s in the mornings.
mm.
Yes.
We
Cannot
had
wait.
the first football game this past Friday night for the daughter who is cheering, and it started to get cool at the end, and I thought, "Okay, pretty soon we'll be able to wear my knits."
Yes. Yes, football started. I have not watched it yet. We're recording this on Sunday of Labor Day weekend. The University of Wyoming Cowboys played yesterday, their opening game for the season. I have not watched it yet. I recorded it. So we'll see. They have a new head coach, so that's kind of a big deal because the previous guy was there for years. So we'll see.
We had a crosstown rivalry because it was high school, and that we have a public high school and a Catholic high school. And I grew up going to Catholic schools, but I was then the principal of a public school, and that's where my children went.
Yeah.
And so it was very odd. And I'm just sitting here going, I can still play on my flute the fight song of the other team. I felt a little bit traitorous there.
Nah, it's good. It's
So it was fun. It's just neat to
yeah.
see the fall.
It is, and I am more into football. I think it's maybe because we have TV now. We didn't have TV for a long time, and now we can like watch the Denver Bronco games. But I am a Packers fan. I am a cheesehead. Yes, I am a cheesehead. We lived in Wisconsin when I was like 5, and I loved the cheese. And I thought, there's a football team and they have cheese on their hats. How is that? That is the coolest thing. I was 5 years old. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And that's how it began. I mean, why else? I mean, it's
I
as good reason as anybody has to be a fan of any given team.
Well, cheese. Come on.
Yeah.
It's cheese. I love cheese.
And they play where it's cold.
Very,
Yeah.
very.
I will say though, I might be able to root for the Broncos now. This is going to be a divisive statement. I could not bring myself to the root for the Broncos when John Elway was there. I did not like John Elway. I think he's a big whiner. I do not like him, never did. I'm sure he's a fine human being. I know nothing about him. I just thought he was a whiny player. But he's gone now, so I can root for the Broncos. My husband likes the Broncos, and their new quarterback, he's pretty impressive. Anyway, so we're excited for football this year.
Yay. That'll be fun. I'm just watching the cheerleaders.
Yeah. And you just take your knitting. I just like to sit on the couch and listen and watch the game and knit, knit, knit.
So I brought my socks because that's what I was going to do at the football game. Grabbed them. I think I had them here last time. The blue pair where I thought, did I talk about just needing to frog them
Oh,
and
yes. That
remake them
was
with the different
yeah,
needles? Yep.
yeah.
Wound it up, had it ready for the game. I was in a hurry. I had just a 10-minute turnaround between work and getting my daughter there. Grabbed the ball. The needles were already stuck into it. Left. Got to the stadium. The needles that were stuck into it were the wrong ones.
Oh, no.
I know. Have you ever been stuck somewhere without your knitting?
Yes, and it causes a major anxiety. It's awful. It is bad. Then you start like chewing your fingernails and picking lint off your clothes, and like it's not good. It is not a good thing.
Now, if you are at a place where it's socially appropriate for you to be on your phone, I find for me, Ravelry is a good substitute. I can go in, I can reorder my queue, I can tidy it up, kind of like tidying up, your room. I have to
Yes.
tidy up my Ravelry. And so if I forget my knitting, I tidy up my Ravelry. But it wasn't appropriate for me to be on my phone because I was around all these people and
Uh, that's hard. Oh, but I do have a sock that is my Zoom sock because
oh, do
class.
tell.
Okay, well, some people know, not haven't said this publicly. A lot of our patrons and my knitting friends know that I'm going back to school. And so I have a class that is a Zoom class. It's a distance education class, and it's a government class. It's required of all Wyoming college graduates. You have to have this US government and Wyoming government class, and it's on Zoom. And so I have my Zoom sock because it's just running, running around.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
So it's my Zoom sock. And it's
Holy cow, look at how much you've gotten done already.
I think I had the toe almost done before the first Zoom, but anyway, this is Woolens and Nosh, and oh, I think she has this in stock right now. It's called Berry Basket. See how there's some green in there too?
Okay, I have seen
Yeah,
that. Oh, I like how that's
yeah.
knitting up.
I know. So I'm knitting this for my backpacker friend, and I have her measurements, and I'm using because she was over. I don't know, a couple months ago. She was over for the weekend. We're like planning a backpacking trip, and anyhow, I have her proper measurements so I can knit Jana's perfect heel for her using my worksheet for my friend. So,
Oh,
so I
that's fun.
oh, I know it will fit. But it's
That's
just going to be
awesome.
round and round and round during my freshman level government class.
That I got a lot of knitting done during a few years ago when everybody was working remotely.
Yeah. Yeah. And my other class, yeah, it's an in-person class at the community college that's like 45 minutes from me. I
Mhm.
need that as a prerequisite. I have like 70 something undergraduate credits, but these are I'm just filling in the gap at community college courses because
Mhm.
it costs less. And then
Yeah,
I'll
that
be
makes
taking
sense.
and then I think spring semester I'll take a class or two from University of Wyoming. So, but I have to fill in a couple little undergraduate things before I can move
Mhm.
on, because you know how it is. Every transcript, every institution evaluates those transcripts differently, and
Yep,
so and that's okay. That's all right.
they do.
And everybody always says, "What are you going to school for?" I mean, at my age, it's not like I have some grand plan to go get a professional job and enter the workforce like in the corporate world or something. I mean, right? I'm not doing that. So I'm just finishing because I want to. And because I
Ah.
want, and because I want to. And so it's likely going to end up being like a bachelor's of general studies, which is an kind of an interdisciplinary liberal arts degree. So this is what they have for people that like a little bit of everything and don't know what they want to be when they grow up. That's the degree you get.
I love it. I love it, I love it.
So they have a program where you can pick from different fields of studies. And so my thing is like English literature, philosophy, and history. So
Ooh,
yeah.
That is a lot of
So
thinking.
I have to have the government class because it's required, but the literature class I'm taking right now is in person, and it's with, like there's only, like, 9 or 10 of us in there, and, of course, I'm the older one, the old person. Um, but those kids are smart, and it's really fun. There's been some really, really good discussions, and I'm like, "Ooh, you smart." You know? And
It
it's
is so neat to be able
yeah,
to go
yeah.
into a setting like that with an open mind because I love anyway, I love opportunities where multiple generations can get together and talk around the same topic
Yeah.
because there's something to learn through all of it. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
and I certainly didn't wanna go in there being like, "I'm old enough to be your mother because I am, but these kids, they have different experiences than me, they are totally smart, and I had a question about something that I felt like I missed in the reading, and I just straight up said, "I think I missed something," and they totally filled me in, and I'm like, "Thank you." Because I overlooked a passage, a point in the discussion, and yeah, they were so sweet. They totally set me straight, but they were sweet about it. It
Aww.
was really, really fun. Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy going back, and I was a little nervous, like, "Do I remember how to take notes?" I do, and I remember how to write in cursive. Yeah, it's been a really good week, so
Oh.
yay, so happy back to school, everybody. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, so
Oh, my back to school means that I'm in the car all the time, and so
look at you.
yes,
Oh,
so did I tell you that I have a friend that needed washcloths?
yeah.
So, yeah, so for
Oh, pretty. Why didn't I ever think to do black and gray?
well, she picked him out, so I had her
Really?
come over and I don't so I have this
Mm,
behind me, and then I have muted colors in a drawer behind
yeah,
me,
yeah.
and, I said, "What colors do you want?" And she's like, "I don't care, whatever you have." And they have a newer home, and I'm like, "Oh, honey, I'm not just gonna throw what's on the bottom of the barrel that I have here. Let's find something you'd want." So she picked a gray, and I was not prepared. This is just a sugar and cream from big box stores. So this is
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
gray and a brown,
Nice.
and
See, that's so
then
smart
pretty soon it will have
because
the white.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would be brave enough to do white because, like, I don't know, I tend to spill things like spaghetti sauce.
That'll be
I'd be wiping down my counter and my husband's made a mess with his hot sauce that he puts on, like, everything. What is up with that? He has to dump this stuff on everything.
whew.
Smells bad.
I
He
always feel like I'm taking a risk when I make a new recipe that calls for sriracha or something like that,
That's
or
what
like
it is, and it
that
has a
chili
bottle,
lime.
squirty top, and it has the green thing like a glue bottle, and you twist it like an Elmer's glue. He squirts that stuff on everything. I'm like, "That is disgusting. Can you at least taste it first?" And he's like, "I know I like it."
I made
Like some
chicken
people
lettuce wraps, and it called for like a tablespoon. One I used no, a teaspoon, not a tablespoon of sriracha, and this one called for like the sweet chili sauce. I'm like, okay, how much do I add? So I tend with the hot stuff only to add about half as much. Okay, this is supposed to be about knitting. I'm so sorry.
No, but
It
we're
kind
talking
of
about
was.
dishcloths because that's adjacent, because I'm worried if I have a lighter colored dishcloth that I'm gonna go wipe down the counters, then gonna stain it. So I think the darker colors are brilliant. I have a navy blue dishcloth that I made out of some, like you said,
Mhm,
it's sugar and cream, or there's one called peaches and cream. It's the same thing.
mhm.
But yeah, same thing. But yeah, it makes me worried about the whole hot sauce, tomato sauce. Yeah.
So I have like good washcloths that I use, and then I have washcloths that I would use for picking up hot sauce.
But those are pretty.
Yeah, they'll be nice. I have one left or two left, but I just started. So
Yeah. So you know what I wanna do too, and this may be something that comes up on the channel. I've
oh,
decided.
fun. You
What I
tell.
wanna do is use washcloths to practice a new knitting style. So I'm really intrigued with, like, Portuguese knitting and trying that
Mhm,
out. So just knitting a straight up easy dishcloth would be a great way to practice a newer style, or like lever knitting, which is sometimes also called armpit knitting. And you see people like the yarn harlot, Stephanie Pearl McPhee, she does that. Uh-huh. Or if you're learning the difference between continental and throwing, continental and English.
mhm.
I mean, just a dishcloth, like, okay, so the tension's wonky a little bit. So what? It's a dishcloth.
That's a great idea.
It's a
I know
great
that's
hack.
how I learned lace, at your suggestion, actually.
Yep. Yep. So I just want to make some back and forth straight up grandma's. We'll put the pattern down below. Grandma's favorite dishcloth because it's just knitted on the diagonal. Or you can just even do it back and forth. If you don't want to have to do increasing and decreasing with a new knitting style, although you could. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to try Portuguese knitting. I think that looks really interesting. Yeah. So, and I'm trying to investigate ways to knit faster. Because I know
Oh,
before everybody gets after me, I know that knitting is about enjoyment and I shouldn't be trying to rush it. But I mean, I have stuff to do. And if I'm trying to get things done for the channel or a tutorial or a gift, like sometimes I want to be able to knit faster. Like now, when I'm doing this, when I'm doing
oh,
this,
I can
I want
oh,
to knit faster. So I am on a different color since last we talked. Whoops, I'm about to lose this. Okay. I am on a different color since last we talked.
it's so, so
I think
pretty.
I was here in this color last time.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm on a different color, but like now would be good to learn how to knit faster because it's 570 76 stitches around one time. And that takes me about 18 minutes. It's a lot.
That is a labor of love.
Yeah. So, knitting faster would be advantageous in my current state.
Wow.
Or when you're just going round and round with my government Zoom sock.
That's what you should name it on your Ravelry page, the government Zoom sock. We could, like, follow your your second collegiate journey.
So I have homework. Oh, speaking of which, can you read and knit at the same time?
No, but I watched there's a couple podcasters out there with how-tos and
Oh,
how they trained themselves to do it, and they just walk you through step by step. Here's what I did first, here's what I did second, here's how I practiced.
okay.
That
I can read and knit at the same time. Like I am not looking at my knitting and I'm talking to you and I'm knitting on this sock.
Oh.
But so I can read and knit at the same time, but you have to turn the page. So I have ordered, I wanted it to be here yesterday so I could show you. But
Uh-huh.
then, I live in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes don't things don't come when they should. And now Monday's Labor Day, so I'll probably get it Tuesday, but I'll post on my Instagram. It's a book rest and it's like it looks like a little bean bag, but then it has this like acrylic shelf in the front. You put your book behind there and then you cinch up the thing to conform it around your, yeah. So it's like a book bean bag.
Oh, that's fun.
I'll put the link down below if people want to see what the heck I'm talking about. But I told, because Will was making fun of me, Mr. Purl, my husband, because I was trying to knit while reading this novel for my lit class. And I had like a Corningware dish. And then I had like this thing. I have one of those tear off page a day calendars. And I tried to put that in the baking dish with the book behind it. And it just wasn't working. Trying to farmer fix up my little situation.
Oh.
He's like, that's not working.
Well, my oldest was at college. Well, my oldest is at college. When he was younger, he made me needed things out of Legos. I still use a phone stand that he made for me out of Legos.
Really?
I would sit at night at the kitchen table and I would have my phone up, and that's how I would watch the podcast and such. And I would knit, or it would be laying down. He's like, do you want that to lay up? I'd try to prop it up on things. And I have a Lego phone stand thing that he made. Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty cool.
Okay, you got to post that on Instagram. Now we want to see it. That's cool. How old was he when he made that?
Oh,
And
I
now I'm
don't
bummed
know.
out because I just gave my Legos to the neighbor kids. I was like, I could have made that.
Yeah, we have so many Legos. I don't know.
With the
All
neighbor
I know is nobody's allowed to touch it. There are very few things that I will not share, and my
kids.
Lego phone holder is one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really cool. So yeah, I'm going to learn how to read and knit my Zoom sock, my government Dr. Thurman Zoom sock.
Oh, that's so fun.
But
That will be fun to watch.
I have to tell you, the people in my classes have been, I mean, I was a little nervous. It's been 30 years since I took a class. I was a little nervous. They've been so nice, and the kids were so nice, and the instructors have been really, really nice. Like,
That's awesome.
they're not making me feel stupid.
No.
Oh, they're super nice, and even though the my lit class, the gal's like, "We like non-traditional adult students because, like, you're responsible. We don't have to hold your hand." I'm like, "You don't have to hold my hand. Just be gentle. I haven't written a paper in 30 years."
Oh, heavens.
I know. So, I'm
That's gonna
knitting.
be exciting.
I'm knitting. We have 8 novels to read in a semester. That's a lot.
You're gonna get a lot out of your reader.
Yes. Yeah, my book beanbag thing. I'm
That would
excited.
be
I was hoping that would be here today, but I'll post on my Instagram so you can see my book beanbag, my back to school beanbag book. There's a lot of alliterations going on here
there
today.
is a lot. There is a lot. I don't know, it's fun.
Oh, so okay. So Clog Vlog is done. I have been considering what our next knit along might be. I don't know. I'm kind of into like the Halloween thing lately. So I don't know. I don't know for sure what we're going to do. I'm considering several things. So if you're a patron, you've been seeing me post some stuff over on patreon.com, ideas for our next knit along. So you can hop over there and put in your 2 cents if you want. But I'll tell you what I'm leaning toward. I'm leaning toward a swancho called The Witching Hour. And I'll put the link down below. But I made this for my kid last year, but I want one now, and I already have the yarn for it. So
Oh.
it's a yoke. Is it a raglan or is it just yoke increases? I forget. But it has raven skulls. So it has the skulls here, and then the long beak that goes down, and then there's some other color work. It's 2 colors. But what I think it'd be fun to teach people on the channel is how to do ladderback jacquard. So when
Okay.
you have the larger skull section, it's a lighter color and your contrast is darker. And then you don't want those darker floats to show through. So the technique is rather than catching your floats every 3 to 5 stitches like you normally would with color work, you don't do that. And ladderback jacquard is a technique where you're forming kind of a net behind your knitted work that carries along the darker color. So it doesn't it never touches the knitted side, and it doesn't, but you carry it up. You'll see. It's interesting
Exciting.
and Halloweeny. But
Yes.
I would wear it all winter because why not? You know? Yeah, I can't remember the name of the designer, but I'll put the link down below. It's called The Witching Hour. So I bought that pattern last year and knitted it for my oldest, but now I want it. I already have the yarn. I bought the yarn in June when I was in Ogden. So
Aw,
at Purl camp, summer
that's
camp.
fun.
So we did that. Yeah. So what are you going to start on? What's next for you?
What's next is that silly sweater that's taking me forever.
Oh, the
I
slip over? Okay.
Yep, I didn't even bring it down. I had
It's in time out again.
I mean, my armholes are done. I'm ready to pick up and do these plackets on the side, which is double knitting, and I didn't have the needles I needed.
Well, and you got to pay
I
attention.
but I have an empty package of the needles that I need. So I keep my needles in, oh, it almost looks like a sock project bag.
Okay.
Well, it is a sock project bag. And I have them all like this. So I found the needle that I needed, which is a US 1.5,
Okay.
and the package was empty, which means it's somewhere in my house. And I searched and searched and searched and
Oh,
searched and could not find it. Okay, fine. I will put in an Amazon order. It will be here in 2 days. I can take it with me when I go on my latest trip. And then for some reason, my payment did not go through, but it didn't show up till like 24 hours later.
hate
So
that.
I am just, oh my gosh, I feel as if I was meant to wear the sweater. But
But you feel like you're being conspired against getting it
at
done.
every angle. So
But one
that's
and a half, that's 2 point no, that's 2.5 millimeter? That's
yes.
small.
It's a placket on the side,
Yeah.
and much where you'd have like if you had a cardigan, like a here,
Right,
but it's
right.
it's double knitting. Yeah. So
Okay,
it's 1.5, and you have to do these well, you have to do 4 sections. You have
okay,
to pick up, and then I have to learn how to do an Italian cast on.
okay.
So I have to cast on additional stitches, but they have to be in a knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. So it's an Italian cast on, and depending on the direction, depends on if I'm
How it yeah,
adding a knit stitch or a purl stitch.
right.
So I'm gonna learn a lot of skills
See,
with
that's
this.
a new thing, good for you.
It is. So the needle came. So
Doing it.
I am yes. So tomorrow I actually have the day off work. So during the day, I will learn how to do that. Hopefully I'll pick up those stitches and start.
Okay. That's
Once I learn how to do it, then I can do all 4 and I think it's gonna fly.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I know what you mean, though. You're like, "Okay, am I ready to sit down and focus and do this?
Yes.
And is everybody gonna leave me alone so I can do this?"
Yeah.
Especially when it's Labor Day weekend and they're home too. Right? You're like,
So,
"Quiet."
yep. So that's what I'm gonna do. And
Yeah.
when I get frustrated, I'll just pick up my washcloth and then I'll weave in the ends and give these to my
Mm.
friends. It's so
Okay.
much fun to give them.
Have you been watching anything good lately or listening to anything interesting lately?
I am listening to, I believe it's Ryan Holiday. He does a lot of stoic writing, which I know that doesn't sound particularly exciting, but they're good. It's really good life lessons. So
When
I'm
you say
um
stoic, to me, I think of the philosophers, like Stoicism.
that is.
This is what you mean. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. I
Yep.
wasn't sure what you meant. Alright.
Yep. His name is Ryan Holiday and he's doing a 4-part series and well, he has a ton of books, but this one is called Right Thing Right Now.
Oh,
So he's done one on like integrity and courage and
in
character, and I think this one is justice. And he does a ton of reading himself, so it's a lot of who in history have made difficult decisions that may have went against the grain, but it was the right thing to do.
yeah.
Um,
Interesting. That is
yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying that one.
Yeah, so kind of on that same vein, this if I don't know if you have Apple TV or not, but a lot of
You
people do. So, app you do have it?
mhm.
Apple TV? Okay, so there's an Apple TV series I just finished. I think there's like 7 or 8 episodes. It's called Manhunt. And at first I thought it was gonna be like a true crime thing, and it is in a way, but it's all about the hunt for John Wilkes Booth after he assassinated Lincoln. And
Oh.
it's interesting, really interesting, and much of the story is told from Lincoln's Secretary of War, Edwin Stanton. And
Oh,
so
wow.
I got sucked into that, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Knit, knit, 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 knit." And, of course, the people that play the historical I mean, the actors are fantastic, but if you have Apple TV, it's definitely worth your time. Yeah.
Okay.
And, and you think about people doing the right thing against popular opinion, I mean, Lincoln, right? So yeah, and there was a whole bunch of stuff that happened regarding John Wilkes Booth and the search for him following the assassination that, like, I had no idea. I had no idea all this happened.
So
Anyway,
that is called Manhunt.
yeah, on Apple TV. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fun.
really interesting. I didn't know this either. They have one that just came out recently called, Franklin, and it's all about Ben Franklin. Michael Douglas plays Ben Franklin. So I think I'm gonna start that this afternoon. Well, I might
Oh,
watch
that'll be fun.
football. I don't know, might watch football. Anyway, so lately I'm just kind of into these historical documentary things that I told you about the Earp brothers. I told you about the one.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was really good, but then I watched this Manhunt one after that. So,
That's fun.
I don't know, I'm just kind of in a phase right now. Yeah, it's just interesting. So, I'm interested also in, like, the undertold stories of women in history that have played a part in all of these events. And, Yeah, like Mary Lincoln and also, Edwin Stanton, his wife, and her there's just stuff I didn't even realize. There's just stuff I didn't know.
There's a ton. I read a really good biography on Eleanor Roosevelt. It was, on the New York Times bestseller list a few years ago. It was fascinating.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, so if people need a recommendation, check out those couple of things on Apple TV if you have Apple TV.
Yay.
And then the Wyatt Earp one, that was on Netflix. So, that's cool. Anyway.
That's
All right, we are done with Clog Vlog and we're moving on. I will let everybody know what the next knit along is going to be as soon as I figure it out. Yeah. So if people have suggestions, but I'm really leaning toward the witching hour swancho because I need some skulls, raven skulls for the fall
and Halloween for Halloweeny.
and Thanksgiving. Why not? Why not? Did I show you this skull that Will found in the pasture? Oh, I didn't? Okay. Well, this is appropriate. He hits golf balls out in the field, out in the pasture.
Yeah?
He hits golf balls and then he goes along and, he has to go pick them up every once in a while. So he's going to pick up golf balls and he thought this was a golf ball but look at this. Look at this.
Oh my.
Isn't that cool? That is totally a bird of prey. Look at the beak.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? I mean, it's kind of
Wow.
fragile, but isn't that interesting? He found that
Wow.
and he knew I'd think it was cool. So he brought it to me.
Aw, that's
Look at
sweet.
how it's sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I might take a picture of it and like email somebody at the university and be like, any idea what this is? Or like, what bird was it?
Isn't there a reverse picture search that you can do on Google?
I did, but it told me too many choices,
Oh.
things that it could be. And maybe that's as close as I'm going to get. I don't know. But it was interesting. And he knew I would think it was cool.
Aw, that's cool.
Yeah. So, all right, my friend. I hope you have a fun couple of weeks until I see you
I will. You too.
or your
Happy
clog.
deciding.
Yes. And hey, everybody tag us on Instagram. If you post a picture of your clogs, we want to see them. Jill's Instagram is at Kitchen Table Knits, and mine is Purl_together. So check it out. All right.
Sounds good. Thank you for letting me join. I've had a
Oh,
ball.
thanks for doing it with me. Yay. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.